Discount Podcast.
Welcome in, you cheap beggars, to Discount, the bargain bin gaming podcast hosted by three people so cheap you'd think they'd be living in Colombia. The cheapest place to live in 2023.
Lovely.
Apparently.
I really wondered where you were going with that then.
Because we love cocaine.
Which isn't cheap.
No.
Which is,
In fact, I think it's one of the most expensive drugs.
I mean,
Well, if you kill your dealer, it's free.
Oh, but then jail.
only if they catch you. And I'm running fast because I'm full of coke. Anyway, yes, we're here with another episode. We do episodes every 2 weeks. Normally it's a fight episode, but this week is a free plays and freebies. I am one of your hosts. I am Josh. I'm plugging into player 2.
I'm Darren. Hello. And of all the showcase options, just watching the Wholesome Games showcase because it's QAF.
It's me. It's me you're looking for. It's Karis. Hi.
Yes, hi, yes. Weird energy today already.
Yeah.
The three hosts, Josh, Darren, and me.
I'll be honest, I want to warn our listeners right now. I'm in a really spacey place today.
Space.
Yeah.
We're all in space.
Yep.
Yes.
Those birds, space birds.
Floating through the air at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Well, yeah, we aren't on coke, just to clarify, because
I'm on Pepsi. Oh,
You are actually
Professor
on Pepsi, yeah.
Peppy.
And you're on Dr. Peppy.
he hasn't
Do you
got a
guys not know
promotion yet.
Professor Peppy?
Isn't that like
that
a
the
It's
frog?
the Aldi knockoff Dr. Pepper, Professor Peppy. Very
Nice.
good fan.
Because I know there was Mr. Pibb, which was like the coke version of.
No, Professor Peppy's where that.
And there's
where it is
Mr.
at.
Pig from Adventure Time.
Okay.
Ah, there we are. This is going to
And
be
then,
chaotic.
and then Peppa Pig,
Yeah.
which is the blending
And
of the
she's
two.
a little cunt.
She
Yeah.
is. We
Full
won't-
circle, cool.
we could talk about about Peppa Pig today because
Professor Peppa Pig.
Professor Peppa Pig, because she is one of our free games, but we won't get there.
Peppy Pig.
So if you haven't been to one of these episodes before,
Sorry.
this is our free play and freebies episode where we talk about news, what we've been playing, games, and mainly the PS Plus lineup at the end as well. But that's sort of what we do, and it's a little more free form and just best of fucking luck to us.
Yep. And to all of you at home.
Yes, and that's sort of something we're embracing fully at the
Yay.
moment. Yeah. It's been a fun month though for games.
good. Yeah.
We could talk about news, but news is boring. What are we going to talk about? Oh, Activision and Microsoft, or
Kissing in a tree.
kissing in a tree, or
I said that wrong, never mind.
what?
You had a hair on your nose.
SITT.
mate.
Oh god,
ING.
I thought you were just really leaning into the coke metaphor by rubbing your nose. Then like, hey Josh, hey
no.
Josh.
One of my hairs has landed on your nose.
That's fair
Quite the
enough.
flight.
But yeah, we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about Bethesda saying they weren't going to make anything for Xbox before they got bought by Xbox. We're not going to talk about Activision and PlayStation going, oh, we're not going to share any of our details about the PS6 with you, but they're still going to make Call of Duty for us.
Yep.
It's just news. Why would we talk about that when there's been 16,000 directs
Yeah.
this
been
month?
good, yeah.
Let's be more focused
Woo.
and more direct.
Hell yeah.
By talking about
Woo.
directs. Yeah, it's been good though, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been
Been
pretty
pretty good,
cool,
yeah.
yeah.
What directs have there been? I can't remember. There's been lots. We're asking Darren now. Rain Man, go on.
Nintendo,
Yep.
PlayStation,
Yep.
Xbox.
Yep.
Capcom did some stuff.
They
I don't know
did.
if that was a direct.
It was.
It was a little one.
yeah.
Ubisoft did one.
Yeah.
Summer Games Fest.
Summer Games Fest. There was the Digital Game Fest, the Future Games
Future
Fest.
Games. There was the Wholesome Games one that I mentioned.
Yep.
Which was genuinely great.
Really
I
much
do
fun.
feel like the PlayStation Direct could have been a wholesome direct.
Oh, that's cute though.
There was a lot of cozy games, shall we
I
say,
was
in
so
there. That
overwhelmed.
Indie trash.
Indie trash, I think, is a fair way to put it. Before we go into what games we liked in there, should we just talk about those three main ones, the three console
Yeah, cool,
exclusives?
cool.
So you had the PlayStation one, which came out, I think, the day after we released our most recent episode.
As usual.
Then we most recent free plays and freebies. So
Yeah.
that was about 4 weeks ago. We had Xbox, I think, about a week ago or 2 weeks ago from where we're recording, and Nintendo was only a couple of days from when this comes out.
Yeah.
But those are the three big hitters. Overall, I would say they were all pretty good directs.
They're pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely have a favourite direct. I think we all probably have a favourite direct of the
Yeah.
three, but I think we're going to have different favourite
Probably.
directs. Well, I don't know, who wants to say that theirs was the best one?
Karis, go.
I think I was more excited by the Nintendo one, surprisingly.
Easily Nintendo one.
Nintendo
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
both of you.
Yeah.
For me, it was Xbox.
It had some cool stuff, but I am like the last time I was even in the like sphere of the Xbox universe was like 2010 maybe.
Yeah, and I think that's realistically why I'm more excited for it. So if I was looking at like games and the content and stuff like that, it might be fluctuating, but I think with Xbox I went in going, oh, I'm not expecting much from you ever, Xbox, and it came out and I went, oh, you've got some big fucking hitters coming. You this is your time. You've made those investments with Bethesda ages ago. You made those big investments, and now they're coming to fruition. Now Xbox is a viable person on the marketplace. Nintendo, as you said, just good stuff. It gave you all the It gave you lots of Pokemon-y stuff. It gave you lots of Weeby stuff. Yeah. It gave you everything you expected from a Nintendo Direct. And PlayStation, I think, had the opposite thing of the Xbox, where we'd all hyped it up so high.
Yeah.
And it just didn't quite hit, but it wasn't bad. On reflection, it's not bad. It's just, it wasn't where we wanted.
I still loved the PlayStation Direct, but it suffered from, I think, what is honestly a very, like, PlayStation-specific problem, where because PlayStation's entire, like, world, entire marketing series based on they have big name exclusives and they have these big fucking show-stopping hits.
Yeah.
If you go into a direct and don't show any big name show-stopping hits, people are like by default pissed. Whereas you go into it going, games, which are some good games,
which is where Xbox knocked it out the park for me.
They normally don't.
They have nothing normally, but this time they did. And PlayStation's big thing really was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But we knew Spider-Man was coming, and if anything, I was less excited for Spider-Man after watching the Spider-Man footage.
The other thing as well is like the big opener was Resi 8, and it was like, it wasn't anything different. It was just, we've released this for VR, which everyone knew they were going to do anyway.
Was it the Resi 8 or Resi 4 one? I can't remember. Was it
Resi
definitely
8.
Resi 8? Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
they did Resi 4 as well. They teased it about halfway through.
So yeah, it wasn't a big opener. So openers then, First, PlayStation was Resi, and then closed with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Pretty all right, but nothing
The funniest
exciting.
part of that to me is that then Spider-Man came back at Summer Games Fest to announce its release date.
Which is what we wanted to find out from the PlayStation 1.
They were like, it's coming out around this time. And everyone went, amazing. And then Summer Games Fest was like 2 weeks later, and they went, it's this exact date. And we were like,
Okay.
you can't have worked this out in that window.
And then Xbox opened with Fable, then closed with Starfield.
Yeah.
So big.
Like,
and
Fable is exactly the example of the kind of thing I'm saying. Well, I, to be honest, only played Fable 3.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of fun with it. But, like, seeing Spider-Man is a thing where I'm like, oh, I played Spider-Man literally, like, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. And I want the follow-up to that awesome. I played Fable in, like, 2010. So I see new Fable. I'm like, that's a thing I liked, like, 10 years ago.
I don't
have the same connection to the excitement there.
I came out of the Direct going, God, I should buy an Xbox. That's where it came out of, when, I've got a PC so I can play the games anyway.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter. But I was like, I want an Xbox now. And Nintendo started, what was their first one? Was Pokemon? Was new updates on their Pokemon thing.
DLCs,
And by the end of it, they were doing the new Mario,
Yeah.
I think. So they just knocked it the whole way through. We sort of decided we're going to just talk about 3 games that we liked each. But it's a real... I mean, there's loads of games I would love to talk about and things to talk about. So I don't know if anyone wants to jump in with what they're talking about. I mean, we just mentioned a bunch of games we're all thinking about. Should we start with Pokemon, as you said?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so there were 2 Pokemon releases in Nintendo, as we all know. I fucking love Pokemon. So there were 2 that were released that I'm equally kind of excited about. The first one was a like Treasures of Area Zero for Violet and Scarlet, and it's a paid DLC, but it looks like a big DLC. It almost looks like a separate game in itself.
Yeah.
Where like the first half you're like in this like festival of the masks and you're looking for different things, and then halfway through then there seems to be almost like a new Elite Four, there's a new Legendary, it looks like there's like 3 new Pokemon that you can like do stuff with that almost seem like starters, but they're not starters. It just looks like a really interesting DLC actually, and I wasn't too excited about a DLC, I'll be frank, because I don't know if anybody else, some people don't feel this way. I've had this conversation on my streams before with Pokemon where, like, I'm not the biggest fan of the open world Pokemons. I think it's good. I'm a sucker for the originals. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and we all know I'm not the biggest open world fan anyway.
You get lost.
I get lost. I'm not directionally good. I don't have a lot of focus in general. So it's the DLC just looks like something like it's still open world, but it's a little bit more closed in.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit more. It's more interesting than I thought it would be.
It's more focused by the looks of things. They didn't give out a huge amount of information about it. I mean, the second it started, your face lit up, Karis, which is because I imagine Lauren did the same thing.
I watched that entire trailer like a child at a cinema, where like because obviously with the new DLCs they're bringing Pokemon back with each DLC.
Yeah.
So I watched the entire thing yelling Pokemon names as they came up on screen. I think it's when fucking Apom came on screen.
Yeah.
Like, Apom! Monkey!
And there's a character in there that came up, and it was really funny because I looked at it and I was like, why am I in this game?
There was
I was
you.
like, why is that me?
Was that the festival girl?
Yeah.
I made an early call that I thought it was the child of the champions. They both have weird hair.
Yeah. But
So, yeah,
she
you-
had like this red and black thing going on, and I was like, oh?
I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, I still haven't finished the thing. I mean, that's it. Pokemon for me is I'm slowly falling out of love with Pokemon. Not because of what it's going. It's just it's not grabbing me like it used to.
Yeah.
But I think it's because there's so many games out there. I'd rather spend more time doing other
Yeah.
ones. Whilst I know what I'm getting with a Pokemon game, it's quite formulaic. I will say that this looked good. I did like the look of it,
Yeah.
and it seemed to just be more of what they've done, which is a really solid game overall.
Yeah.
I need to play the DLCs for the last ones for Sword and Shield.
Well, this is the thing. I don't think I've ever played a Pokemon DLC before. I've just never felt the need to go back.
They were pretty good.
Yeah.
One of them was, I say one of them, both of them were sort of in the direction of the full open world thing.
Yeah.
But they essentially just gave you a little island. I think the first one's like a Pokemon dojo. I don't remember.
So they were like
all.
they were testing the water with those DLCs. So maybe this is going to be interesting to see where the next one's going as well. So it's
Yeah.
probably worth going into. And that was exciting Pokemon, but it does feel like there was more exciting Pokemon that you were just
Oh
about to
my
mention.
god, listen now, right? I didn't expect to see this on there, and
Neither
I
did I.
was
No, no chance.
transfixed through the whole thing. So there's a new Detective Pikachu game coming
Yeah.
out. That just looks like a horrific amount of fun. And yeah, it is what it says on the tin. You go around the city and you're solving different Pokemon mysteries with your little fucking cheeky coffee drinking crackhead Pikachu next to you, which is great.
You can feel like you're solving crimes with yourself, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. I've never related to a fictional character more than I have Detective Pikachu.
it's that-
He mentioned someone needs to bring me coffee about 5 times in that trailer, and I was like, this little mouse thing is me.
That was the last scene of the trailer. It was like, I wish someone could bring me my coffee. And you're like,
It's like, yes.
yes, that's
I feel
me.
that. I've only had 1 cup of coffee today, which might explain the spaciness, actually. So, you know. But, so I feel him on a cellular level. But the thing that got me in this trailer, the thing that I literally, my jaw opened and I was like, oh,
Yep.
is this a bit where Mewtwo turns up.
Yep.
I fucking love Mewtwo. For those of you who are also in your early 30s, late 20s, when Pokemon, the first movie came out, blew my little fucking mind, and I've had like a little thing about, not a thing, that sounds like I fancy
Yeah,
him.
no, that's basically
That's where I thought you were going.
I don't
like the line
have-
from Lion King. Is
Listen, you keep Kovu's name out your mouth. It's Lion King 2, for one. Put some respect on that movie.
Lion King
'cause it's
241.
arguably better than the first
Yeah, a lot
one.
of
Don't
those.
come for me on that. Secondly, Kovu is sexy. Fuck you.
Okay.
Thirdly,
Mewtwo.
Mewtwo. Yeah, I don't fancy Mewtwo in that way. He's not my type, okay? But I do have a little bit of a fascination with him. I spent a lot of time last year when we were in West Wales on Let's Go Pikachu trying to catch him, and I did because I'm a fucking boss. And when he turned up in this trailer, that got me really excited. That got me super excited.
He's quite a common character in the Detective Pikachu, isn't he? Series. I mean, like he's in the film as well.
Yeah.
It's quite cool. And I don't think this is a remake, is it? It's
it's
a
a
completely
new one.
new one, which is good. It's the first one they've done in a while as well.
Yeah,
I would say.
the first one came out forever ago, and I think came out with a bit of a thud.
Yeah, and I'm glad it's found its feet because I
Yeah.
think this is the third one. I might be wrong.
No idea.
But it's really exciting.
Can I just pause this for a second? I can't believe in the middle of this podcast you would call me out on fancying a fictional character.
Where else?
Where else would I do it?
I mean, genuinely though, and I'm going to ask this. This is not podcast related. My friend Lydia, who we play Dead by Daylight and stuff with sometimes, has a very popular poll on her Instagram called Smash or Pass Sundays.
Okay.
And I don't know if she's done a fictional character one yet, but I'm just putting that out there.
She has.
That I am not the only one.
Oh, she has.
Smash
Don't worry.
a fictional character. Okay.
I'm not saying that you were, but it was one of those things. You made a comment like you found you two attractive.
I don't.
Maybe it's just
Maybe you should.
maybe it's just
those,
intelligence.
like rugby player thighs that he's got.
That's it. I don't blame you. And that large purple member. But let's.
Oh no! No, you didn't have to take it there.
Was it? I mean, that was two of the big highlights for me in the Nintendo
yes.
Direct. I think you were going to talk about something Nintendo Directy, but I can't remember if you had.
I got a couple in the Nintendo Direct.
Oh, so are most of our things we want to talk about Nintendo Direct based? Okay, I've got nothing on the Nintendo Direct because I think you guys are going to cover it.
My two, I'll drop on one of them quite briefly, and then the other one maybe a little bit more. The first one was the remake of Super Mario RPG.
Very excited.
Which is a much beloved game that I have never played.
Same.
I know so much about it, just passively in the world, but it's not the easiest game to get to. I think the first time it was like available in the UK was like a handful of years ago by one of the online services, and that's the first time I had a chance to play it. And
it looks great though.
Remake it looks beautiful. It looks really faithful to the original. I'm very excited.
Like they were literally showing side by sides during the trailer,
Yeah.
showing how faithful they've been with the remake.
They just
which is
made
good.
the game again. They've got the original composer back to do all the music.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so they're literally just making the same game again.
That's very
Which, for something like that, brilliant.
I didn't realise this was a remake, so I was out of the knowledge of Super Mario RPG. I thought it was a new title. I was like, that sounds really cool. That sounds like something I'd really like to do. And I was like, oh, I wonder why they're showing old with new footage. This makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a remaster.
So this is the precursor to Paper Mario.
Oh, okay.
Like the sequel to this became Paper Mario, and then that became its own series.
Because Paper Mario is great. I love Paper Mario.
I do have a question about
on.
one of the Mario related releases that came out in Nintendo Direct because I'm not too familiar.
Mario on drugs.
No, the Wario one.
WarioWare, yeah.
The best game
What
ever
the
created by
fuck
man.
does that have to do with Wario? Because it just looks
He's
like
in it.
Wario introducing a bunch of games that
That's
have nothing to do
pretty
with
much
Mario.
it, though,
Yeah.
isn't it?
He's in it.
Well, what the?
He's running a bunch of competitions for you to take part in.
Oh, he's running that.
Basically, yeah.
Right, because when I'm going to be honest, I watched the trailer and I was like, this looks like so much fun. It looks so stupid.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But what the fuck does Wario have to do with this?
It's basically like there is a universe within the game of Wario and all of his various friends and acquaintances. And each of them will like have their little story they're going through, and you do the tasks, and like the character features in the tasks, or it'll be sort of related to them. Each one normally has a different gameplay gimmick.
Yep.
So
There's a lot more movement based in this one than there have been, hence the name MarioWare Move, I think it is, isn't it? WarioWare.
they're always a lot of fun.
Yeah, there was a one
little
where
5-second games.
they literally make you shake your entire body to shake a Coke bottle. That made me laugh out loud. That because I
think
had
it'll be
visions
great.
of you wiggling about like an inflatable flailing arm.
I think you was directed at me.
Yeah.
I think we should do a duo stream where we just compete in WarioWare.
Oh my fucking god!
'Cause
Yes.
I think you play 4-player on some of them as well. So
Yes.
we have enough controllers.
Anyway,
but what did you want to talk about? Because I imagine your conversation is about something else Mario based, is it, or not?
it's
No.
not. I'm ignoring Mario on drugs. It looks weird.
Well,
I'm
the
into
last
it.
one, I think it looks great.
I'm not huge on the art style of it. Something about it makes me a little uncomfortable, and I can't work out what it is.
Yeah.
I think like the character models are rotated slightly too far forwards.
It's not quite 2D.
It looks
It's
like
not-
he's crab walking.
Yeah, I get that.
And something about it really unsettles me.
It real sort of like catharsis playing those sort of games. Those like nostalgic ways of just running across screen. But yes, sorry.
But the other game was a game that was announced called, I think it was called Silent Hope. I can never quite remember what the title is. It's Silent something, but I believe it's Silent Hope. And this game looks like, imagine the general gameplay structure of Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah.
If you replace the cult bit with Harvest Moon.
Okay.
So it's made by Marvelous, who are the people who make the Story of Seasons and the Rune Factory games.
Right.
And it's an RPG game about the king of a kingdom has taken everyone's voice. So
Oh, yeah. I remember what it is now.
yeah. And they basically unite and they're trying to like, save the kingdom. And the one person they have as a guide is the daughter who's trapped in a crystal, but they can hear her voice. She can still speak for some reason. But it's like a combination of roguelike dungeon crawling, and then you come back and you have it's the exact like Story of Seasons cows. You do your farming, you do your blacksmithing to upgrade your tools to build your little settlement. It reminded me as well of the Ni no Kuni 2, like city building bits.
Right, okay,
That
yes.
sort of
Yeah, I
vibe
get
where
that.
you build up your settlement, you build up your buildings to get better equipment to progress in the road.
I love settlement building stuff.
Love it.
I
Love
mean,
it to pieces.
Yes, you do.
But that really sort of caught me. I don't think I'll ever play it.
No, it's one of those things. I think is it Nintendo exclusive? I can't work out.
Probably.
But I mean, it might come indie PC sort of thing. And if it's on the case like it comes Steam for free or like really cheap, I might pick it up.
Yeah.
That's about it.
It's this media cycle's Harvestella.
Oh,
It's a game
yeah.
I'm really hyped about that I will never play, and I've made my peace already that I will never play it. I want to play it, I never will. It will constantly be like fourth on a list of games to pick up when I have the money.
Makes sense.
And it
Yeah.
just keeps getting bunked down. Maybe.
Yeah, well, talking of city building and stuff like that, I'm going to talk about one of the games that I was really excited for and unnecessarily excited for.
Yeah.
And watch all that. It's Starfield.
Okay, yeah.
Which is not where you thought I was going with that. But they did. So the Xbox was like a double event with the Starfield Direct. And I'm already really excited for it. Firstly, the stuff they brought alongside the game, the collector's edition.
Looks so cool.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
the box it comes in, you get the watch that they're going to give you in the game, which is a smartwatch that can link to. Brilliant. Oh yeah.
Pretty cool.
It
Yeah.
looks amazing.
Oh my God,
so I
is it?
really want that. It's also brought out a controller, which is
it's a
beautiful.
beautiful controller, yeah.
Beautiful controller. And they've also brought out the first ever Xbox sort of headset that they've designed with Xbox.
Oh,
it's
cool.
the first custom one, which is like the thing as well. So it's got the banding colour, it's got like a gold
That's
trim
pretty
mic
cool.
in front of you.
I like that.
They've done a really nice job. They've really put everything into this.
They sort of have to be
They
fair.
have to. This is their make or break.
Yeah.
However, the game itself, I've been excited for it for a while. I know there's a lot of people sort of like, well, it's this sort of thing, it's going on. But they have really pulled it out the bag. With this Direct, the fact that you can fully customize your ships, like break everything down. There's thousands of planets. I think it's 1 in 10 are inhabited. So you've got that. Some of the planets are procedure generated, but they've got actual generated events. It's got you can bring crew on board, you can talk to people, you can romance them. You've got customization at the beginning, which is really big and detailed. Plus they've got beginning traits and your background. So you make a background which can randomly help you in different tracks. Then you can also add random traits to yourself. So there's one which is like kid friendly, where all your money, you lose like 10% of your money, your income, because you send it back to your parents, which gives you parents that you can go back and visit in the game, and they give you more conversation. So it's like little weird things that you can do like this that fully builds it. And your ships are fully customizable, which is even cooler. Like they were showing some of them, one person's built their ship called the Platypus. They've made their ship look like a platypus that can fly through space. And you can pirate people, you can just salvage ships, you can ignore them, you can talk your way out. It's got all the standard stuff, but then they go, right, here's the combat. You know, if you're using a laser weapon, that's going to do nothing in zero gravity. You're not going to move back. But if you're using something that's got potentially a ballistic weapon, you get propelled backwards. So they've really thought long and hard about this game, and it all looks amazing. It looks like, in my head, what I thought No Man's Sky was going to be when it came out.
Okay. Yeah.
And I've been burnt before.
Yeah.
No Man's Sky now is pretty solid where it is, but you can build out. So why I said city building is you can build outposts on all these planets you go to, and they can just generate resource for you that then comes in. So you can move like your crew over to those things. It feels like it's going to be massive, in depth. The story itself is apparently really good, but you can just do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
And I could see myself losing days in here. This could be my I've been waiting for Skyrim's next thing that's going to take days. Fallout 4 I liked, but I didn't lose myself fully into it. This looks like something I could just disappear forever into. And the fact that they gave us like 40 minutes of it was just beautiful. I know I'm much more on board for this than you guys.
It's a Bethesda game.
Yeah.
I'll buy it in a Steam sale for like a tenner 3 years from now and have a lovely time.
I think it's just, you know me, when it's whenever a game says, here's all the shit you can do, go and do whatever the fuck you want, my head goes into overdrive with that. I just can't cope with it.
I love having a list of a million things that I can then check off. That works for me. But I do get overwhelmed as well in certain games, but this very much does feel like it's formulated, but you can ignore it if you want to. But yeah, Starfield, I've already hyped this up in my head enough that it's going to be Game of the Year.
Yeah.
And be horribly disappointed. Anyone else got a Game of the Year that showed up or anything close to it?
No, I'll go for a brief mention that I forgot was shown, just based on your intro to that. I want to quickly shout out City Skylines 2. Looks great.
All right, fair enough.
Looks amazing. I went back into City Skylines 1 recently, and I forgot just how much fun that game is.
Yeah.
And like Skylanders 2, it looks like it's added some cool stuff. It looks like it's...
Is it more console friendly, this one?
Hopefully.
Because
I don't know.
First one wasn't console friendly.
But like, it looks like maybe they've taken on some of the features that they eventually DLC'd in.
Right, okay. Makes sense.
But no, I'm excited for that one. Just to see a bit more of it.
Is anyone else going to touch anything else on Xbox, or is it just going to be me? Because I've got something I want to talk that came up on Xbox and in Ubisoft.
My other one was in the PlayStation / Switch.
So we'll continue with space. Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see this one.
You've not seen this one?
No. I saw the name and I went, cool.
This is the Star Wars game that we've been wanting.
Cool.
So it's set between 5 and 6, which is Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, is that right?
Yeah.
Just to make sure I got the names right there. Happens between that point. You are essentially a Han Solo-esque figure. You're a girl, I can't remember her name, but you've got a little pet thing that you can command to do little tasks for yourself. So it's a big open world, different planets you can go to. So a little bit like Jedi Survivor.
Yeah.
But... You're using pistols and guns. There's a wanted system in here, so if you're doing something wrong, you're like making your options. Cool. They come after you. It just looks brilliant, and it sounds Star Warsy. Yeah. I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, but this is the sort of Star Wars. It's like my Rogue One.
Yeah,
this is the sort of thing I want to be.
Just cool shit.
I want to be an outlaw that's going off, but not like, oh, I'm secretly you're a Jedi who's going to be a nice possible way. I don't give a fuck about the Jedis. I feel bad for the people that are being murdered on the streets. I want to be I want to be one of these sort of plucky up and comers. That's why Han Solo was always the best one. It's why I have a secret soft spot for the film Solo. I don't care that people hate it.
It's one of those things that I always thought when they released the I think it's just called The Old Republic. It was the MMO.
Right. Okay.
And the most interesting part of that was like, you can be a Jedi, you can be like that. You can also just be like some dude who's just like running, like gun running or smuggling and stuff. And I thought that sounded much more interesting to be like, because
it's being the civilian in a world of superheroes.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. The entire like film franchise is based around the cool shit the Jedi do. But I'd love to see a different angle on that world.
And Rogue One is the best Star Wars film.
You're entitled.
It's up there.
You can't say it's not one of the best ones.
Yeah, it's one of the best ones. It's not
me,
the best one.
I'd argue it's top 3.
Keris is not with that. But it feels like a really good, tight game feels like... So, imagine GTA 5 with Star Wars. That's how I'm looking at it. It's not going to be quite like that.
Listen to my opinions about Star Wars because I like the Phantom Menace. So, he's not my favourite. It's not even in the top 5. But...
It's 6.
I do enjoy it. I enjoy it.
I was going to talk about Fable, but I think we briefly touched on it. It was fun because Richard Ayoade's in it. Yeah.
Nice to see him in it.
And Fable is a great series. So, but because they haven't given us anything about it, I'm not going to talk too much. Cool. It just looked cool. But PlayStation Direct, we've obviously each got to talk about one thing left.
So. I'll be honest with you. I know you, looking back on it, have quite enjoyed it. I personally was quite underwhelmed by it. Mm-hmm. I did feel whelmed, you might say.
Whelmed is good, yeah.
It was alright. I wasn't too excited by much. I was excited for one game, which was Alan Wake 2. I thought that looked suitably creepy, suitably cool. It didn't look as campy as the first one.
That's what sold it for me.
Which I'm really, really interested in, because I know we all had like quite a good laugh actually about some of the like really hammy aspects of it. But it's going to be interesting that it seems to have taken on like a bit more of a dark, more serious tone there.
It's that sort of True Detective season 1 vibes to it, isn't there?
Which I loved, by the way.
Well, it's the comment I made in the podcast where I'm like, this game feels at odds with itself.
Yeah.
And it now feels like it's the two elements of the story it's telling and the gameplay it's providing are more in line with each other.
Yeah.
The gameplay looks amazing.
It looks fucking
They
cool,
showed a bit more of it at some Games Fest.
Yeah.
And it looks great.
I just think it looks like suitably more scary than the first one. I don't know what it is about this concept that just seemed to be overall just darker and just like, oh, okay, like this could be...
I think it's because it feels like it's actual things rather than these like manifestations of dark.
It's like things have caught up to him in like the 3D world now, rather than it just being like it looks cool. I'm excited about it.
I'm very excited for it. I mean, I will talk about the one bad thing about this for me. and it seems like it's not the only game, so we can talk about a little bit about it, is it's no physical copy of it.
Yeah.
It's digital only. And I think one of the Yakuza games is doing the same thing as well, which is just it's just shocking
that more things are coming out as digital copies, because obviously as well, like, on being very meta here, like, our podcast runs on physical copies.
Yeah.
So to see people go like, oh, it's just digital now, like, it does worry me that things will move.
It does feel like maybe this is a move to try and retain value in cost of games for developers and stuff by making them digital. People aren't selling them on and buying it on physical copies. So I sort of get it. I hate it. I would rather they, here's it, we're going to increase the price of physical, but we're actually going to put a bit more effort into our physical copies going forwards, because let's be honest, most physical copies now is here's a box.
I miss instruction books.
Give us an instruction book, give us a map, give us CD Projekt Red, I know it gets a lot of flack. It puts a lot of time into the stuff it gives out.
Yeah.
But if all games did that, I'd quite happily pay the premium, and they can probably recoup a bit more money by doing it that way.
Yeah.
If every game came with a steelbook, I'd pay like an extra £10 for every game.
Yeah.
I love a steelbook.
You're a sucker
Great.
for a steelbook.
Sucker for a steelbook. But yeah, that did look good. It was just that little bit that put me off. I'm going to talk about Liza P next.
Go for it.
So Liza P, which I thought they were going to they were starting to show when it was Phantom Blade, and I got confused.
Right.
But Phantom Blade looks
pretty cool, yeah.
Liza P, the reason I'm going to talk about it is because they also released a demo. And the demo is brilliant. So if you hadn't have a chance to play it, I only played up to the end of like this first boss, and I thought it was going to end there. So I uninstalled the game. I didn't want to do any more to sort of take away. Turns out you can play about 3 bosses in here.
Nice.
They've given a huge amount of time, unlike the trial for Harry Potter on PS Premium, 45 minutes. This is giving you like 3-4 hours potentially.
Similar to the Final Fantasy one that came out recently.
Yeah, similar to that. But it's great. That's exactly what you want.
Yeah.
I've got a whole feel for it. It's just a cool sort of idea of Pinocchio in this sort of steampunk, Bloodborne-esque world. And they've already taken feedback on. So there was an issue with the dodge button. It just didn't feel right. And they've gone, right, yeah, we're going to remap that, fix that out for you guys. Thank you for giving us the feedback. And that's what you want from it. What's also weird is they're doing a crossover with Wolong.
Hell yeah.
Wolong have Fallen Dynasty have announced they're going to do some sort of like cross promotion across them. So we'll see how that works out.
That.
And as I liked Wolong, that's great. Souls-like clone that looks really good is the way I looked at it.
I'll touch on the last little thing I want to mention, which is the Metal Gear Solid, the remake of 3 and the collection.
Yep.
More so the collection, just because it is a series of games I have always wanted to play and never got around to, because they're probably not the easiest to come by.
No.
Whereas it's nice that they're sort of, even like with or without the remake, they're being like, okay, here we go. Here's like, we'll release them all in bundles, because they had an HD bundle before, but it was 2, 3, and the PSP game.
It was weird. It was a weird mix.
Yeah. Whereas this is 1, 2, and 3, and apparently they've leaked what's going to be in the second one,
which is 4 and 5.
4, 5, and the PSP game.
Yeah.
Which just completes the set,
Which is really
quite
nice.
nice. So I wouldn't be surprised maybe if there's a upcoming like 6 announcement after 3.
I wouldn't be shocked either.
If they've done 2 collections and gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Peace Walker. Here's the entire series to ready you for 6.
And let's be honest, 3, the remake, I mean, that trailer looked amazing. With the birds flying in, all that, with the alligator jumping out. It started happening. I was like, is this? And I was like, what's this? No, this is... And then the state came out, this is Metal Gear Solid. Yeah. This is fucking Metal Gear. Like, I got so excited for it.
You say, he's saying, oh, this is Metal Gear Solid. What you really had in the living room was, it's Metal Gear Solid!
I was very excited for it. And
that was my tone of voice for the entire Nintendo Direct.
But it just,
oh my god!
It just looked beautiful. And it's also the first collection, 1, 2, 3, is coming to Switch as well. Yeah. It was announced. So it's obviously they're doing a good thing there. So
yeah.
Very excited for the Direct.
Also, very quick shout out to Pikmin 1 and 2 being re-released. Both those games are amazing.
Yeah, we neither of us have ever played Pikmin,
They're
so
amazing.
we were watching it like, what?
I'm waiting for Darren to get 4, because he's going to get 4.
Yeah.
He's going to
100%.
play 4, he's going to complete 4.
Yeah.
I will then borrow 4 and go, what the fuck am I playing?
I'm going to look in sort of the near future, because you can buy them all now, well, the important ones, on the Switch.
Yeah.
And the physical for 1+2 is coming out in September. So I'm going to go buy that, try and get 3 secondhand, get 4, and just have the collection and play through them all again.
Lovely.
Because I love all of them. They're all amazing.
I would love to play them. It's one of those series that I've just missed entirely.
Yeah, they're genuinely great.
I want to talk about one really shit thing though.
Go for it.
The PlayStation handheld. What a fucking mess that is.
Oh, yeah.
I was so disappointed. I thought this is going to be great. It makes no sense. They've just made a partnership with Backbone, which does the same thing with your fucking phone. And they've gone, here it is again with a glass that's going to smash immediately. And then you have to buy 1 million of them. Rubbish. Stupid PlayStation. Go fuck yourself. I was so angry by it. And that's probably why I don't like the PlayStation Direct.
So about their digital games.
Well, their streaming library. No.
Right.
No, right. Should we move on to what we've been playing?
Yes.
Let's fucking move past that. The directs were great, really good, man. Really good. Lots of things to look forward to.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for what the rest of the year holds now.
Yeah.
And next year. And next year. And the year after that.
Yeah.
Who knows? But what have we been playing ourselves this month is what we're going to look at. I think we'll just do a quick sort of whirlwind through a few games as well, because I've been playing a fair random amount. And
I've only really concentrated on 2.
Oh, go for it.
This month. So I started this week streaming Resident Evil 1 or just Resident Evil,
which will be up. My first episode will be up before this comes out, so do go and check it.
And I'm actually really enjoying it. I was kind of, when I started and I said I was going to go through all the mainline games, I actually originally was going to just start with the number 2 remake, because I was like, it's Resi 1. I didn't know whether I'd be able to get it. I've never played Resi 1 before, and it is surprisingly really fun. It's really fun.
A very different feel game to the other games.
Yeah, and there's little things like the old loading screens being the doors opening up and stuff, and it's really good, and the puzzles are really fun.
Puzzles are harder in this one.
They're harder, but I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I think it's cool. I'm enjoying that. But the one I'm really enjoying at the moment, which I know you guys have played, is I am relentlessly addicted to Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens. It really does.
A game fucking sucks you in.
It is such a good game.
Yeah.
Just to chill out with, but at the same time, you can't not concentrate on it. It's
the most murdery, cozy game you'll ever do.
It's so good. I apparently play this game very similarly to you, and not very similarly to Josh.
How's that?
She sacrifices all her old people.
Yeah, they
sacrifice the old people.
Sacrifice the old people.
Yeah.
Sometimes they ascend if I don't have the ritual for sacrifice.
The last thing I unlocked in the tech tree is there's like the compost thing you put the bodies into after they die.
Yeah.
It's the last thing I unlocked because I sacrificed all of them before they died. I think I was halfway through the 4th dungeon before I had my first body.
I have 3 people in the ground at the moment, and that was before I selected the
madman.
It's before I selected the sacrifice.
The entire bottom 2 rows of my entire place was just burial plots for my people.
Well, you're a nicer man than me, but I'm going for Midsummer Cult. Like, my old people are going.
By the end of it, they were very scared. They knew every 3.5 days they were going to be sacrificed because I needed that last trophy.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cult of the Lamb is amazing.
I've also married someone I didn't want to marry, but they gave me a request to marry them, and I was like, yeah, sure.
I married like 3 people, and I think in time sacrificed all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry.
Cause.
I had to marry a second person because of some sort of quest. I immediately killed them afterwards because I felt bad for my first guy.
And that's why I never have to worry about Josh cheating.
That's how we deal with adultery, folks.
But yeah, so Cult of the Lamb is a great game.
It's great. I'm really enjoying it.
I'm glad you finally got onto it, and it was a stream, which is also up on YouTube. Just push everything back to YouTube.
Yeah.
So this month, I've been playing quite a lot of random games. Most of them have actually linked with Darren. So I'm going to talk briefly about the one game that I think I've played this month that hasn't crossed Darren's lap as well, which is, for very briefly, is Lego 2K Drive. It's great. It's fine. It's fun. It's nothing mind-blowing. I like the online side of it. I like the building your races. There are a lot of microtransactions, but you don't need them. I don't understand why that was such a hated thing. This is a perfect game to wait for it to be about £10-15 to buy it. I wouldn't be shocked if this comes to like a PS Plus or a game something like that very shortly. But it's good fun. I've enjoyed playing it. Everyone who's played it, I think it's the same way. It's just a bit meh. It's enjoyable. I reckon it's probably more fun to play with a group of people, like a Mario Kart style thing.
If I said the name of the game, it's about as much fun as you picture.
Yeah, it really is. Lego 2K Drive, it looks pretty, it looks fun, it's smashing things up.
Yeah, it's just dumb fun in like 20-minute intervals.
Yeah. Other couple of games just to fly through.
Yep.
Chivalry 2,
great
which we didn't really give much love in the last Freebies episode, but we've been putting a lot of fucking time into
it's a
it
fun
recently.
game.
It's
fucking stupid.
I mean, we both have got our 13 kills with a loaf of bread, one of our trophies. But yeah, it's just one of those games where you go in, you just beat the living hell out of people, and you die constantly.
I've never done so much unashamed team killing.
Oh, so much. And then you can vote to kick people, but no one kicks anyone because everyone's like, yeah, I'm accidentally killing everyone as well. So it doesn't make
You'll run to hit someone, and 3 people will form like a wall in front of you. It's go, well, I'm about to cave in the skull of my own teammate. Sorry, bud.
The only issue with it is the trophies are a bit pain in the assy because it's like, hey, you win a certain amount on these 4 maps, but because it's been around for so long, there's like an extra like 6 maps in there now, so they don't really get into rotation. And then you play 40 minutes to finish it, and you can still lose. And you're like, start again. But you can do it all in tutorial. Good fun. Project Zomboid, just going to mention, I didn't think I was going to enjoy Project Zomboid. It's
good fun.
But it's like is it isometric, would you describe it? Isometric zombie survival horror game where you can play online with a bunch of people. So me, Darren, my sister Liv and her husband have all been playing this together in a collective community, whilst me and Darren have died relentlessly, and the other 2 have sort of told us what to do.
But we are now the longest tenured people alive.
Nice.
Yep.
It's been a nice sort of evolution where we went from to perfectly fit the theme, I loaded into the game in the grasp of 3 zombies, got bitten, walked around aimlessly for half an hour and died. And now I'm leading like solo expeditions into the city, just like, no, I win.
That's me as well now. So like me and Darren were so bad at fighting, but because we've had to work out how to survive, we now can probably survive better than some of them.
Yeah.
We've now worked things out. But it's really good. It's really in-depth, massively in-depth, like water filtration systems that you can build.
Yeah.
You can like go overweight, you can just injure yourself. A scratch has a 25% chance of actually killing you. It's really cool, really fun, just worth checking out. It's really quite cheap as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's also huge.
Massive.
Like, we have the map open sometimes just so we can point out buildings on the map and be like, okay, I'm here, down from here. But if you zoom out that map, there's like 5 game-sized maps there, and you can go from one to the other. But fucking, it's absurd how much there is to that game.
Next time I get bitten, I'm jumping in a car and just driving off to another area just to see what it is. Because I will get bitten and I will die.
Of course.
And the last one I'm going to talk about, which is probably the big game, is Diablo 4.
Yep.
So Diablo 4 came out this month. Everyone went fucking mental for Diablo 4. And rightly so. It's a really good. It's really good. It's better than 3, in my opinion.
Okay.
Because I didn't really like 3, but this feels like it's hit a bit more where I want to be. There's a lot of nostalgia noises.
Yeah.
Like I'm killing Fallen and they're like, bleh! I'm like, yes, that's a noise I recognise. There's all these sort of... I mean, it's got 5 classes. They all feel like they've got their own abilities and they genuinely feel different, which is good. And it's just massive. But it's such... For me, this is my cozy game. Like, I can quite happily just run around, murder hoboing my way through everything, not having to give much, and watch a TV show at the same time.
Yeah.
The story's fine, and the cinematics,
beautiful.
my God, they are beautiful. Oh, it's insane. The amount of screenshots I've taken just in cinematics is insane. I doubt I'll get the platinum for this anytime soon.
Yeah.
It is
Big game.
huge game. But we've also been playing online as well together. So you've been able to play with other people across. There's 3 of us been playing in one world. And we actually got to encounter the Butcher with the 3 of us. Big Diablo fans and Blizzard fans will know of the Butcher. He's also my Roadhog skin. And I have found the Butcher twice on my own. The first time I found it, I was running around trying to avoid him, and he was just faster and beating the living shit out of me whilst my skeletons did it. It went horribly. Second time, I managed to kill the Butcher, and I felt amazing. This third time, with all 3 of us at like level 9, so about, we got absolutely wailed on. We all died twice, but like one of us would just hold on long enough for the next person to get back. He had the smallest amount of health. Darren ran in to take the last hit, and as I died, he just disappeared. It was like,
it's like we were face to face, and he went, "Peace out." I went into the floor. I'm like,
oh man! But he's like an RNG boss. He can show up anywhere, and he is like 2-3 levels higher than
Since then, I've encountered him twice in solo and got my shit kicked in both times.
He's a fucking nightmare, really. Like, we're talking about how many times you've died. So Darren's tried hardcore a few times, which is a permadeath mode, and he was doing quite well and then died. But like, if I've died like 5 times and most of them are to the butcher, that's pretty much how it's been for me. But yeah, really like Diablo. I don't know if you want to say anything about Diablo at all.
I think it's great. At the minute, I'm trying to play it in the mindset of how I played 3, and the one thing I prefer in 3 to this is 3 felt a bit more structured in its story progression. So like, you would do Act 1 in sort of the area you're in, you'd beat the Act 1 boss, and then the game would sort of lift you up, put you in a new hub town for Act 2, and then you span out from there to do Act 2. Whereas this, you get to the main city, and it goes, here's Act 1, 2, and 3. Have fun. You're like, what?
I think it does narrow down after that, because I think it's 5 acts. Yeah. When you get past 1, 2, and 3, which you can do in any order, they'll then go, here's Act 4 for you, and here's Act 5. But they do have end bosses for them, which are pretty good.
It's cool.
Yeah.
My only current issue with it is it doesn't excite me. It doesn't fill me with any sort of joy.
I agree with that. It's nothing I'm like, God, I've got to get back and play some more Diablo.
Yeah.
It's like, Diablo, that'd be fun.
It's very fundamentally fun, but I play it and I'm sort of walking around doing little dungeons or fighting things. I'm like, this isn't...
It's great. Yeah. It's great for me when I'm like doing editing for like the YouTube episodes, because I can do some editing, I can have this running, and I can stop. The only issue as well is though it's always online. So lags will happen. People have just died trying to move stuff because the server's fucked about. Like there was a guy with like a level 79 or level 81 hardcore character, so a long time into it, he went to teleport to a new place, the server fucked up, and he just lost his entire character and it's gone forever.
I lost my first hardcore character to server lag. I was in a fight, the game froze, it opened up again, and I was on no health. I was like,
Jesus.
Okay.
So that's
really frustrating.
That's the worst thing.
God.
The good thing is though, because I'm playing as a necromancer for this run, I can often just stand still and leave my 7 skelly buddies just like to kill everything, and I'm just like, cool, just doing something else over here, just work on just churn some stuff up. Yeah. But you've obviously played some other games about Diablo.
I'm only going to talk about one other game that did bring me joy, which is Octopath Traveler 2.
I can't wait to play it.
Which is a game, in the scope of this podcast, I've talked about for I think the past 2 episodes, where I go, maybe I'll play it, but next time. I did play it, I platinumed it, it's incredible. I never really got on with the first one, and the main problem I had with the first one is it didn't, in the same way, it didn't excite me. It was very sort of bland. I liked the concept, but nothing about the game itself excited me. This is completely different. All of the characters are great. All of their stories are a lot of fun. They all sort of tie together in nice ways. They have their 8 stories. They have their 4...
Characters really trying to keep it together after being attacked by a fly.
Flying a fly, yeah.
All I could think was, you're halfway through this and they're going to be able to hear this big fat fucking fly that's like just buzzing around my head.
But they have like their 8 individual stories.
Just avoiding your cartoon stink lines.
You're so fucking rude. Do you know what? Like, go fuck yourself.
So they have their 8 individual storylines. They're 4 crossed paths, and then there's like a final concluding chapter, like a big epilogue thing. And at first, it really didn't grip me.
Yeah.
It's the biggest problem this game has, is the least interesting part of a JRPG is the opening 2 hours.
Yeah, it always is.
And this game does that 8 times.
Oh.
Because you have to pick up each character and do their opening bit.
I mean, I think it's part of the gimmicks. If you can accept it, you can get past it. And I imagine some of them are more interesting than others.
One is vastly more interesting than all the others. I did that one first.
That's a mistake.
So I started hitting the other ones.
So which one do I leave to last to get the excitement then?
Throne A, the thief.
Throne A, the thief.
See, I wouldn't be able to do that. I'd be like you. I'd be like, well, this one's the most interesting, so I get burnt out.
I picked it because I looked up which one is the most survivable on their own.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's a 4-person party-based RPG.
Yeah.
But for a while, you have 1, then you have 2, then you have 3, then you have 4.
Makes sense.
So you want the one who's most survivable at the start. And I'd say there's one of those on... There's 2 continents, basically.
Right.
And there's like 8 towns where their stories merge.
So it's a choice of 2 it could be, really.
Yeah.
I'll ignore the Throne A.
But what I really liked about it was just... There's a really nice sort of style of progression in it, where each character has like 5 story acts, I think, and they're each like recommended level so-and-so. But it works in such a way that you pick up character 1, you do their intro, you pick up character 2. Character 1's chapter 2 is already on the map. It's like over here in the distance, and it's like level 10. Fuck it. By the time you've gone around, walked from city to city, and done everyone's chapter 1, character 1 is probably around level 10, so you then do their chapter 2. and the level cycle sort of nicely
Right,
progresses
okay.
through the 3s, through the 4s, through the 5s. That's not how I did it. I did someone's chapter 1, I think, after I'd done 3 people's chapter 5.
Makes sense.
Because I started it, it went, you will be stuck in this until chapter 2, and I went, fuck off, I'll see you later. And I did it much, much later on after I'd beat 2 of them.
Right.
I was in love with this game, and then the final chapter happened. It really cemented my love for it.
Right.
Because there's a really nice moment at the end. A lot of the complaint people had about the first game is that they never interact.
Right.
There are 8 characters who are moving together, but they never
have that sort of linking nature.
Yeah. And a nice part of it in this one is you have the crossed paths where character A and character B will have a little sort of sub-story.
Right.
And they're all sort of on different things. I think one of those that was the most charming was you have the hunter and the apothecary go on an adventure into the woodlands to save an injured animal.
Right.
That's very nice.
I get that, yeah.
Yeah.
And whilst in the first one, they were literally just 8 people walking in the same direction. Okay.
But at the start of the epilogue, you have this scene where all 8 of them are gathered around a campfire, and there's 2 of them who are trying to get the campfire lit, and there's 2 of them who are trying to sort of do some foraging, and there's 2 trying to do some hunting, and it's so sweet. This game has such a charming character to it. It's written so wonderfully. There was a line, I think I messaged you about this, or I told you about this line. You have they'll have little conversations in between as you're walking around, and one of them is on the trail of someone called the Dark Hunter, and there's 2 of them having this little side conversation, and she's like, the Dark Hunter sounds very sort of scary and mysterious. I wonder if he dresses all in black and has black weapons. And then the one she's talking to is maybe he rides around like a black horse, and she's like, I wonder if he has all his food super burnt so it's all black, and he goes, maybe. And she goes, and I wonder if he has dark related things. Maybe he calls a marketplace a darket place, and he's like, I don't think that's right. It's so just funny and charming, and every character's so well realized in themselves, and the way they engage is a lot of fun. It's wonderful. I think my platinum timed out at 85 hours.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed every single hour.
Perfect. That's
amazing.
what you want.
Yeah.
That's what you want. So yeah, that's what we've been playing. This is what we've been playing. But what anyone could be playing is probably free games. Free games what we can all play. So let's have a look at the PS Plus lineup for this month. First things first, was it a good month or was it a bad month?
It originally appeared to be a bad month.
Yep.
And then I started playing the games and I went, fuck no, this is great.
It's a real hidden gem month is the way I'd look at it. I would say this is one of the worst months that they've actually put out there because it's going to appeal to fewer people.
Yeah.
Is the reason I say it's a bad month.
I called last month a filler month. This is a fucking filler.
This is, but it's so filler.
filler.
It's so filler. It hurts at times.
Yeah.
Their big I would say their big flagship is NBA 2K23, which people you look at user scores, they're not great. And probably Far Cry 6 is the other ones, but they're a bit all right.
The other one I'd mentioned, because I don't think it's going to come up as a championed game, I assume, was it was the official release of Rogue Legacy 2 on PS5, and it came immediately day one to PS Plus, which was cool.
Is great, because I think I was talking about, I wonder if, I think I was playing Hades on stream, wasn't I? And I was like, I think Rogue Legacy 2 is coming soon. I don't know when it's coming, and then it came out free, which is great.
That's a good game.
It is a good game. Should we have a little look at what our top 5 games are then?
Are we going to champion?
Yeah.
Oh, do you want champion first? Yeah, we do champion first, don't we? So there were a lot of games there. I think it was 25 games or something this month.
Loads of
a huge number of games.
The best part of it was the UK PS Plus announcement originally only announced 8.
Oh, really?
And it went, this is a selection of the games on offer. And the internet melted down and went, why are you only fucking offering 8? And half the comments is that, and the other half is, it says some you fucking illiterate pricks. And then they announced the rest, and everyone's like, oh, yeah, it's pretty good.
That's pretty good, yeah. Do you want to start with yours then, Darren?
I'll start with mine.
Yeah.
I am championing a delightful, darling little game called A Hat in Time.
Yeah, I like the look of this. I haven't started it yet.
I played this on PC a few years ago. It's basically a game in the vein of a Banjo-Kazooie ukulele that came out quite recently.
Nice.
You drop into the world, you run around this sort of contained open world area, you do little missions, there's collectibles hidden around. This, again, is wonderfully charming. The first world is... So first of all, you're a little girl in a cape who makes little happy noises as she runs around and jumps and stuff. But the first world is a city ruled by the mafia, but they're all got really cartoonish accents.
Right.
Like, massive fucking muscly men. And then, like, the second world that I've just got to on this run through, which is my favourite one, is a movie backlot
Okay.
housed by competing factions of the Moon Penguins and the Owl Express.
Obviously.
Who are making competing films to try and win the film award. And they believe that they're going to be able to snatch the film award this year because of their shiny new props, which are the thing you're collecting.
Right.
Which are these, like, hourglasses. So you have to, like, cooperate with both sides to get all of your things back.
That's fun.
But the second one is the murder on the Owl Express, where you have to solve a murder on a train.
That's really cool. So it's a fun little...
It's very silly. It's very sort of charming.
From the cover art, I thought it was going to be something along the lines of Monster Boy, which we talked about before, but it's nothing like
full
that.
3D.
That's
It's very
perfect.
much plays like a sort of... It reminded me a lot of Ukulele as I was playing it.
Cool.
But a lot more sort of character. And
That's definitely sold it more for me. So I
very sweet little game.
feel like I need to give that a bit more of a run. Cerys, what did you go for?
So, Darren's gonna be like, excited about this one because I know you love it. But I am actually gonna be championing Jurassic World Evolution 2.
This game's great.
I am a fucking sucker for like a life sim or a business sim or whatever, and essentially this is what it is. It's a business sim where you construct your own Jurassic World prehistoric theme park. You have like 75 different prehistoric species. They all have like different things that they need, and you need to keep on top of them, and some of them will fight each other for resources, and you get to piss around with DNA and like it's just mindless fucking chaotic fun, if I'm honest. There's
Sounds
nothing
great.
more to say about it really, because it's a business sim. It's something you put on to fucking brain dead yourself for a little while, which is why I love them.
The one thing I will offer that was added in the second game that I think is a really cool thing worth mentioning is a mode called Chaos Theory.
Right.
Where you basically are scenarios which are the events from the films.
Yeah.
So you have like
That's
the original
fun.
Jurassic Park, you have the San Diego one from Jurassic Park 2.
Yeah.
And you have to like fix it.
Fiction. That's pretty cool. I like that.
The alternate
Yeah.
history where you run it and it doesn't fail.
And it's nice because like Jeff Goldblum come back, did the voice of
Does all the
it.
narrative.
I think Bryce Dallas Howard did the other one as well.
Yeah.
That's a
You know,
shame.
that's a shame. I know you hate it.
Actually was in it.
No,
Fuck it.
it's not that I hate. I don't hate her. I just
Fuck
hate
my
her
cat, am I
in
right?
these films.
But
They're rubbish.
you know, Jeff Goldblum comes back, so no, it's just good fun. It's mindless. It's something you can just stick on, and like I fucking love a business sim. What can I say?
a good time.
I got to be honest. I also like the odd business sim.
I know exactly where you're going with this now. Okay.
So the
Hell yeah.
so the game that I'm championing is a game I did not think I'd be championing as I started it.
Nope.
Can I just prefix this that I came home 2 days ago and
You're giving it away. go on, go for
and
it.
I was expecting him to be playing like Diablo or Call of Duty or whatever, and I could see him, and he'd obviously been working really hard because your hair was everywhere and you looked a bit like a mad scientist. And I turned around and with eyes that were red from what I can only assume is hay fever, or that he'd literally been on this fucking game all day, I was like, what are you doing? In the most mundane little monotone voice, he went, I've spent all day playing a wine simulator.
Yes. So the game I'm championing is 100 Days Winemaking Simulator.
Fucking right.
Which really stole a lot of my time. I downloaded a lot of these little games just to sort of give them a go. Like I played quite a bit of Inscription, and I thought this is fun, this is good. Then I played a bit of Carter. I thought this is all right. Then I got into this, and I couldn't leave it alone. Basically, it starts very Stardew Valley-esque. You in an office, and then you suddenly go, hello, I'm an old dead out relative. You can go make wine now. You go across, and then you go and start learning the process of making wine. So you get your vineyard, you get your grapes, you look at the soil. Is it too alkali? Is it clay? Is it sand? Is all you put your things in, and then you're just building out this box by putting different tasks in there. But you can only do them after you've completed certain tasks, like cleaning things. And you can then spend money to expand that lot and to get different tools and to improve. All the time it's going up, but you also have to do better wines so they get higher ratings so you can sell them for higher values. Plus, if you sell them to supermarkets, you're going to lose money because they want to buy them for like half the cost of others. So it's all managing these resources. I've got a perfect wine. I'm 100% as a wine master. I've got over 85% in a lot of the wines. And I literally lost hours of my day in it. And I can't explain why.
Yep.
I think Darren had the same thing.
I I always say my favourite part of any month is the 2 days after the PS Plus comes out. I go into my PS app and I see what the fuck Josh is playing. Because I don't know what it's going to be. It could be anything from the fucking list. And I open it up and I saw fucking 100 Days and I messaged him and I went, "Are you playing the fucking wine game?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's great." And I got home and I looked at all the fucking games I downloaded. And like I played a bit of Rogue Legacy 2. I played a bit of like Dodgeball Academia. I played a bit of something else. I can't remember what the other one was. And a bit of Hat in Time, obviously. And I looked at it and I went, I think I was on like Friday morning. And I'm like, fuck it. I'll give it a go. And I'm expecting I'm going to go into it. I'm going to go, this is fine. And then I'm going to drop out. And I messaged Josh, I think at 4 o'clock. And I went, fuck's this game, man.
You're like, literally, I think I went, yeah, welcome to losing your life. And you have. You've done the same as me.
It's
like,
incredible.
It shouldn't be good, but it just scratches an itch of... I think it's because I feel I'm really productive. Like, I'm making so many wines. I'm doing so well.
It's just low maintenance enough that it's not like a struggle to play it. But it's just engaging enough that you go, oh, hang on. If I like harvest these the other way round, then the acidity will be better on these ones. Yep. Waiting longer, the acidity right on this one, which means I can then give it more of this treatment to get that up to the right level. And then it's an hour later, and I'm like, fuck.
And I'm like going, oh, I'll stop when I stop doing my wine tasting because it's gonna be winter soon. I can't do much at that point. And then it's like wine tasting. Oh, I've had an aging process going on these wines, so now they're coming through. By the end of it, I've got like 16 wines out for full.
Oh my God, this really just makes me want wine.
But
it's incredible.
It's a great game. It's a great game. So yeah, that's the game I'm going to be championing, which is 100 Days, the winemaking simulator.
Real surprise hit.
Real surprise hit. But yeah, our top 5. So this month, talk about you playing a lot of game stuff, has a real wide value. So the 5, so we actually voted for 10 games in total.
Nice.
The ones that didn't make it, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, which is a brilliant game, really good game. Trek to Yomi, which I've heard good things about, but it's a real mixed bag. Some people really like it, some people don't. Side-scrolling.
It's installed.
Shadow.
I'll give it a go.
Oh yeah, I'm the same way. Inscription, which I've really enjoyed, but I haven't made it past Act 1 yet, and as Darren has said, after then, most people are a bit meh with it.
Act 1 is one of the best games I've ever played, and the rest of that game is not great.
We also have Far Cry 6.
Oh, I like Far Cry 6. A lot of people didn't.
It's one of my lower ones. So I think it goes Far Cry 3, Far Cry 5, Far Cry 6, Far Cry 4.
I could make... Yeah, mine's probably about the same.
Yeah.
But, like, it was one of those where I played a bit of it and I went, this is okay. And then I got into a mindset where I really wanted to just play an open world fuck about game.
Yeah.
And I think I played it for, like, 2 weeks and it just caught me.
I think this has almost gone too big for its own good. And
I heard a lot of people say they weren't too gripped by Far Cry 6.
It's just got no, like... It's not engaging in terms of its plot.
It's remember that everyone loves the bombastic nature. Like, here you go, here's a dog in a wheelchair. Here's this. Here's a cockerel that will fight people. Yeah, but why should I care? And that's the problem. Yeah. But still worth checking out because it's free. And the other one that didn't quite make it in is A Hat in Time.
Boo.
Sorry, Darren.
List is invalid. Recount.
So our top 5 though. In 5th place, so we actually have 3 tied on the same points.
Amazing.
Bear in mind, Hat in Time had 8. These next 3 have 9, so it's very close.
Recount.
But I'm going to put them in the order of like the most people have been putting towards them. So we've got Dodgeball Academia in 5th place.
That game's genuinely incredible.
I have no idea. It's like a Japanese RPG.
Yeah, you play as a boy who's gone to dodgeball school.
Yeah.
And like the first act of it was I had to find people to make up my dodgeball team. And my dodgeball team is made up of me, a girl who's super crazy, and a guy who has a balloon for a head who can't play dodgeball because his head will pop.
Nice.
I've also met a tiny vampire child, a boy who thinks he's a pirate, a scientist girl who makes me go around fighting people, a guy who made me confirm 5 times that I wanted to fight him because he's the strongest guy at the school, and he was level 1 and I beat his face in. It's an incredible game.
I may have to give it a go.
It's awesome.
So in 5th place, Dodgeball Academia. In 4th place, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge, which is a brilliant game.
Yeah.
Up to 4 people can play side-scrolling, Scott Pilgrim, Dueling Dragons.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game.
Yeah, it's an arcade game.
It's side-scrolling fight 'em up.
It's brilliant.
Can't go wrong.
And it's beautiful to look at. And in third place, Jurassic World Evolution 2.
Fantastic game.
In second place, 100 Days.
Hell yeah.
Winemaking Simulator.
Yeah.
Is it because me and Darren may have also both given it too high a score? Maybe. But number one, and I think rightfully so, is Rogue Legacy 2.
Genuinely incredible.
It's an amazing game.
It's awesome.
The first one was brilliant,
love
and
the
this
first one,
second
yeah.
one is a step up, and they've done such a good job. It's a roguelite with a T.
Yeah.
Roguelite. But the whole twist on Rogue Legacy is that when you die, you come back as a descendant of the person who just died with a random trait, which could be dwarfism or something like that, where you're like tiny or you're short-sighted, so you see like part of the screen.
Yeah.
It's good shit.
My two favourite ones I found so far is there's one I can't remember the name of. It's something to do with ego.
Right.
And you have a spotlight on you. Enemies have spotlights on them, and when you beat all the enemies on a screen, roses fall from the ceiling.
That's brilliant.
Which is really funny. And the other one is synesthesia, where you leave a rainbow trail behind you.
Love that.
Beautiful.
It's great.
Love that. Shit and rainbow.
You combine that with the one where you just need black and white, you just leave like a block.
Love it.
It's like, dope.
Love
I love
that.
this.
But those are our top 5. Rogue Legacy 2, 100 Days, The Winemaking Simulator, Jurassic World Evolution, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder Revenge, and Dodgeball Academia.
Best list we've ever made.
Not the list I was expecting to come out of
Best
this.
list we've ever made.
But yeah, really, really interesting month. There's going to be something in this for every person, is the way I look at it. So just find the game that's right for you and give that a go.
So shout out to Talos Principle. That was there. None of us voted for it.
Talos Principle,
I wonder why.
I did vote for it.
Oh, good.
I did vote for it. But
Fuck
well.
it.
Life moves on. That's it. That's everything. So I don't got anything else to say. Anyone else got anything to say? Anything to say? You got something to say? Oh god, that coke's finally kicking in.
Oh my god.
Thank you all for listening. Do check us out on our socials at Discount Pods. That's on Instagram. That's with 2 C's. We do have our individual ones, which is Discount Darren, Discount Cerys, Discount Josh. We are on Twitch at Discount Pod, and we are also on YouTube at Discount Pod, where everything goes on, and you can find a longer version of this episode if you go up there and listen to it. I think that's everything. Thank you all for coming by for another slightly longer episode, and we'll catch you all next time. Thanks for being our player 4s. Bye now.